welcome. David Levin here, Raise Your Inner Game today. This is Tuesday, so we're talking sports and sports parenting. And this week, we're talking about the mental game and the struggles athletes have with it, and specifically how the struggles our kids have are the exact same ones athletes have at the highest levels, which is sort of mind-boggling. And then the various lessons we can take from that, because there are several important lessons in there. Little housekeeping before we jump in. We have a new Sports Academy group coaching class starting this coming week. The benefits of group classes are that it's a group learning environment so they can connect to other athletes, get support from each other. Also, tuition is 60% less than private coaching. You can learn more and register at raiseyourinnergame.com, and there's a link in the show notes. Our private coaching is available all the time, but the group class only opens up every 8 weeks, and registration for that is open right now. So check that out while it's open. Same exact course, same great results, 60% less than private coaching. Pretty great deal. And now to today's topic. So I've been watching these great documentaries on Netflix, Full Swing on golf and Breakpoint on tennis. And it's just been amazing to hear the struggles these athletes have with their mental game. I mean, I totally get it. The pressure at that level is insane. I really didn't understand how intense it is, or at least not at that kind of personal, granular level. They've done a great job of showing that in the shows, and I really appreciated seeing it. So I don't mean to suggest I'm surprised that it's hard. I mean, I'm surprised at the nature of the difficulty. Basically, it blows my mind to hear them talk about their lack of confidence. First of all, they don't look like they would be lacking confidence. They're flying around in their private jets, for the golfers anyway. They walk with confidence. They seem confident in the interactions we see, the press, the coaches, their entourage. Of course, you never know from looking, right? And that's one thing we see for sure. The hardest mental game struggles we tend to keep to ourselves, so you can't tell from looking. But still, these are the best athletes in the world. Literally, by definition, they are professional athletes. They've risen up through the ranks year after year, insane levels of work and dedication and focus and success. They are winners and have been all their lives. And as professionals, this is what they do, right? They know the game inside and out. They know their own game inside and out. They're surrounded by other professionals who know what they're doing. I mean, it's really hard to imagine what it's like to live at that level of, honestly, anything really, that level of expertise and effort and professionalism. But that's where they are all the time. So to hear them saying that they struggle with thoughts like, I don't belong here, I'm not good enough, I don't have what it takes, I don't know what I'm doing, I can't win, it just blows my mind. So here are the big lessons in this from my perspective. And again, there really are some good ones. The first one actually goes to the heart of mental game training, meaning when you look closely at what's happening here, you see how the mental game actually works. You see the mechanics I'm always talking about. So let's do a little bit of that. First of all, and I think this is important, but I don't believe these athletes are always lacking confidence. 99% of the time, they do seem to feel the way they appear. Everything we said, they know what they're doing, they know they're great at it, they believe they can win, they carry themselves that way. It's all real and it makes sense. But in these moments, during competition, when something goes wrong, that's when their confidence starts to break. So what's actually happening in those moments? If you slow the tape down, here's what you see. They're playing great, they're in the moment, everything's working, but then something goes wrong, and all of a sudden, they're off in their head. These negative thoughts come up and say all these crazy things we're talking about. You can't do it, you're a loser, you're embarrassing yourself, you're no good, blah, blah, blah. They get pulled into those thoughts and stuck in their head, and they can't get back out. That's what you see over and over again. And here's an important observation. We're talking about negative thoughts, but positive thoughts are just as bad. You're fantastic, you're the best, everyone loves you, you can't lose. It sounds like those would be better, but if you're thinking those thoughts in the moment during competition, you're still in your head. That's one of the most important points here. And you've heard me say this before. The key to being your best and letting your training come out is to be fully focused and present in the moment. That's the hardest part of being an athlete at this level, and really any level. It's staying focused and present because the pressure and distractions are so intense. So from that perspective, it doesn't really matter if it's a positive or negative thought. Both are equally distracting from being in the moment. It just so happens that our big, unhelpful brains tend to throw out all these nasty negative thoughts most of the time. So that's the big observation. What's really happening in these moments, the real root of a lack of confidence is a lack of cognitive control. Cognitive control, or you could think of it as attention control. So that means the thoughts come up, they take over, we can't control it, we get pulled into our head. Having cognitive control means we can control it. The thoughts come up, we shut them down. We decide what we think about from one moment to the next, or if we're thinking about nothing at all. When an athlete learns how to do that, they can control these moments. They can keep the negative thoughts and emotions from breaking their confidence. And I'm sure you can imagine the massive difference that makes for them. And so here's my plug. That's what we teach in the Sports Academy, cognitive control. And as far as I know, we're the only ones who do it, at least in any sort of practical, applicable way. And just as a framing thought for that, if we have 13-year-old kids getting this, you know it's practical and applicable. And again, there's a class starting up this week. All right, anyway, that's the plug. The second big lesson in this is another illustration of the foundation of the mental game. We started out talking about how great these athletes are and pointed out how really ridiculous it is to hear them thinking that they're not. Right? You're no good, you don't belong here, you don't know what you're doing, you can't win. It's ridiculous because it's so clearly not true, just obviously, objectively wrong, right? It's another powerful observation. The first thing we help kids see to break this confidence problem is that the negative thoughts aren't really coming from them, not from their real selves. They're coming from this other voice, almost like there's another person in there. That's the first step to getting control of their confidence. They need to decouple themselves from those thoughts and learn to see themselves as separate from them. Well, one super helpful way to do that is to take a close look at the thoughts themselves and realize how dumb and wrong they are. The more you see how much you disagree with them, the easier it is to feel that you're separate from them. So this is a great opportunity, again, because they're so clearly wrong and stupid. What do you mean you don't deserve to be here? What do you mean you don't know what you're doing? It's crazy, and it's super helpful to see that. And then the third lesson is everyone has the same struggles. With all the kids I work with, it's the same fears and worries and beliefs and lack of confidence. So on one hand, the message is you're not alone. There's nothing wrong with you. This is just what our big brains do to us. Even when it makes absolutely no sense, as we've said with these elite athletes, it makes no sense. But that doesn't matter to our big brains. They'll say it anyway, and it's the same for all of us. So you're not alone. The other part of that, for those kids who are hoping to continue and get to that next level and beyond, if you can fix that confidence problem now, you will fix it all the way up. And there's probably nothing you could do that would make a bigger difference over time. Fix that now, and it'll pay huge dividends all along the way. So that's what I wanted to talk about this week. Do pros really have the same confidence problem as teenagers? And the answer is yes, they actually do, believe it or not, because that's how the mental game works. But you can fix it with the right kind of training, and it makes all the difference in the world when you do. If you have teenagers in sports and you want them to learn how to solve this confidence problem, check out our group and private coaching. You can learn about both at raiseyourinnergame.com. You should also check out our Mental Game Starter Kit. The Starter Kit is a great set of resources to help you start boosting their mental game as their parent. Just go to raiseyourinnergame.com, raiseyourinnergame.com, scroll to the bottom. You can learn about that and register there. All free. If you like what you heard on today's show, please tell your friends and rate and review us on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts. Every review helps more people find the show, and get the mental game boost they need. If you'd like to support the show so we can keep things ad-free, please click the Buy Me a Coffee link below, and thank you for that. If you are listening to the audio podcast and you like video, we post all our episodes on YouTube as well. There is a link to that in the show notes. And finally, we'll close with Steve Prefontaine, the legendary long-distance runner, and his quote from the end of the Raise Your Inner Game book: "To give anything less than your best is to sacrifice your gift." And that's what we're doing. We're working to be our best and help our kids be their best, both on the field and off. So keep up the good work, and we'll see you next time.